remain. Good kill. Kill confirmed. We've located the...
How's it going, Goomy Gang? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Now, if you're like me, you probably prefer a lot of the Modern Warfare guns rather than the Black Ops guns. I've yet to find a game that feels as good as Modern Warfare 2019 did in terms of its guns, so I've always preferred that Modern Warfare universe style of gun. And so today's video, we're going to be talking about the WSP Swarm from Modern Warfare 3. And the reason why is because this is actually a pretty damn good SMG for very close quarters, but it does have some limited range, and that's probably its biggest downfall, is it has such a steep drop off for its damage. But it's got great movement, it's got great fun potential, it's got a ton of potential up close for a good time to kill at almost 600 milliseconds flat, so it's really, really good. And with this video, I just want to talk about it, share my thoughts, some stats and some numbers about it, why it's so good, and then share the class setup with you. So if that sounds good, make sure to check the timestamps below if you want to help to a certain part of the video. With all that being said, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. So one of the things I want to talk about is the time to kill, and that's one of the reasons it's so good. And instead of going to sim.gg and just having it across the whole screen, I'm going to show you guys little screenshots instead, so that you can see the gameplay in the back. It's a little more interesting, I think. So as you can see, with weighted averages for chest and stomach, you can see that the WSP Swarm comes in at number 1 with the time to kill at 6:04, with the compact coming in just below that, and then the C9, Superior, and KSV. I just kind of chose some of the more popular SMGs that I'm seeing, and so the WSP Swarm definitely takes the cake here. Now the big issue you'll notice is that blue line drops off pretty damn hard right at around that 8-meter mark. So this is the big downfall of this gun, is that it just really has a steep drop off. That doesn't make it useless, but it's just compared to other guns, if you're not hitting your shots, this one's going to be a little bit more unforgiving. But the time to kill up close and the fact that it's got great movement is one of the greatest things about this build. As for the range, like I said, this is probably its biggest limiting factor with that steep drop off. So as you can see, it extends out to about that 8.4 meter mark with that really good time to kill, as long as you have that WSP Reckless 90 long barrel, which I definitely recommend as one of the attachments, and it does help. This is going to feel like a little bit of a shotgun in the sense that it's got such a short range to it. You really want to stay in that range if you want to do super well with it, but at the same time, it can still push and still get some kills at longer ranges. I swear it still works. It's just a little more unforgiving, but because the time to kill drop off is pretty steep, it can get you killed in some instances against really good players, but against some body players, you're probably not going to tell a difference, and you'll actually still be able to melt them. Maybe not as quick, obviously, but it's still going to do some damage, and most of all, it's just really fun. And the big thing with this gun, or with any gun, or shotguns in particular, you really have to know its limitations. Like I was saying, the range is definitely its biggest limitation. Now, a few things to note about what I'm doing here. I am rocking the 50 round mag most of the time, simply because I tend to play solos. I do go into quads occasionally, but that gets pretty frustrating pretty quick. So generally I run the 50 round mag, and that's okay for maybe 1v2 engagements, but you can rock the 100 round mag as well, which is a ton of fun on this thing because it's just spray and pray. It's so goofy. There's so much ammo, which is ridiculous for a gun like this. But one thing to know here is that the 100 round mag actually does still hurt your movement speed and your handling. So the 50 round mag does not. So you'll still have a great movement speed with that, but putting on the 100 round mag, it will kind of noticeably impact your movement speed and your strafe speed in gunfights. So something to keep in mind. There is a price to pay for having that much ammo, and it's going to be that you're noticeably slower. Honestly though, it's still super fun. In quads, it might be worth it because with this thing, you kind of fly through ammo. It's one of my favorite guns because I love really fast shooting guns. That's just always been kind of my thing. It's like the Black Ops 2 Scorpion. It's sort of similar to that. So just keep in mind, you will burn through ammo pretty quick. And in quads, maybe try using the 100 round mag just for fun, but most of the time, I'm going to go with the 50 round mag. Now let's talk about the class setup itself. Here is what I have been using, and this is a great balanced build for it. It's probably the most range you'll get out of it unless you put a muzzle attachment on it, but I've used these other attachments for tac stance, which is the way to run this gun. Again, this is a tac stance focused build. Do not fully aim down sights with this thing because it's going to have some kick, but with tac stance, it makes it much more manageable. Now we're rocking the Cronin Intless MSP12. This is actually a really good attachment to get you a very nice tac stance spread. The reason I don't use it as often is because some guns, particularly shotguns, will have a sort of slow sprint to fire speed, and this thing doesn't give you any better sprint to fire speed like some lasers do, but it does give you just as much, if not better, tac stance spread, so it's a great attachment to run. Of course, we're rocking the Reckless 90 long barrel, which is a great barrel for range. The Jack Slash, which does hurt your tac stance spread, but gives you a lot of movement speed, maybe not a lot, but a good bit to notice, so I always run this on a lot of movement speed builds. Then we have the 50 round mag, and of course, no stock. This is going to make it really hard to aim down sights with, so don't aim down sights. Again, this is a tac stance focused build. Overall, I gotta say, I've been really enjoying this gun, and it is viable. I'm telling you guys, it actually is viable. Of course, it's not the most versatile of guns, because in any competitive environment, you're gonna get shredded at longer ranges. And by longer ranges, I mean anything outside of like maybe 10 meters if you're facing someone competent. But just know that like shotgun range, really close ranges, this thing can pack a damn good punch, and it's super fun, and that's what it's all about here. Make sure to use an attack stance, make sure to strafe around a lot. It's super easy to control, it's super fun, very satisfying. I highly recommend you guys check it out. I know it's been a while since anyone's talked about the WSP Swarm. It's all about the Black Ops 6 guns, and while this gun does have a steep drop off, again, I gotta tell you, it still can pack a punch, and it's still super fun. So that's just about gonna do it for this video, guys. As always, down below in the comments, let me know what you think about this gun and this build. I know it's not a shotgun, but what do you think about the WSP Swarm? Do you think it's overlooked as much as I do? Do you think it's actually garbage tier and I'm just full of crap? With all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.
Laying off